many shots?
16 shots.
Hey man, y'all make some noise for Laquan McDonald. Let's lift his legacy, his memory up tonight. My name is Will Calloway. For those who don't know me, I'm a community organizer. Coming in from the southeast side, South Shore. I appreciate everybody coming out. We out here for one reason alone. That's to get justice and make sure that we fight for an equal justice system in the city of Chicago and throughout this country. Tonight we got some dynamic speakers. We're gonna touch on a range of issues. And tonight we're gonna treat this as a campaign kickoff. Say campaign kickoff. Say campaign kickoff.
Campaign kickoff.
I don't know how many of y'all done ran campaigns before, or whether it was a political campaign or the end. Whether it was a political campaign or campaigns to end cash bond or any type of campaign period in the community. If you ever ran a campaign before, you know you gotta have endurance. Say endurance. Endurance. Say endurance. Endurance. This is a campaign. We gotta have endurance. It took us years for Jason Van Dyke to get convicted. The tape came out and he killed Laquan, murdered Laquan in 2014. He didn't get convicted until 2018. Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna raise the consciousness level of the city of Chicago and everybody else. And we're gonna start tonight. We didn't have a lot of time to put us all together, but I appreciate everybody that's coming out. This is an important issue for a variety of reasons. This is an important issue for a variety of reasons. The officer who murdered Laquan McDonald, Jason Van Dyke, was only sentenced to 81 months in prison. Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
This ex-officer is eligible to be paroled or released from prison in February 2022. Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
What a lot of people do not know is that the Department of Justice, the DOJ, this is their building behind us right here, the Dirksen Federal Building. The Department of Justice opened up a federal civil rights probe into the shooting murder of Laquan McDonald. They never filed charges on Jason Van Dyke. Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
We're demanding on tonight that U.S. Attorney John Losh, the Department of Justice, that they filed civil rights charges on Jason Van Dyke and they hold him accountable for the shooting and murder of Laquan McDonald on October 20th, 2014. So we want that now. So we want that now.
We want that now.
We're going to bring us some speakers. We're going to talk about other issues on why we out here, about the social inequities in our community. How this white man, this white police officer, murdered somebody in cold blood on camera. And he was only sentenced to 81 months. He can possibly be released from prison after only 3.5 years. Say that's shiesty. That's shiesty. Then on the other hand, you have other African Americans, such as Mr. Larry Hoover, who's spending 6 consecutive life sentences in prison, in federal prison, on 23-1 lockdown, and don't have any human contact. Hasn't had any human contact in 25 years. Say that ain't right. Say that ain't right. So you telling me my federal government won't hold this white officer accountable for shooting this black boy, but will hold this man in prison under the jail for 6 consecutive life sentences that he can't even touch his family, he can't touch his son, he can't touch his wife, he can't touch his grandkids. That's not right. Say that ain't right. We're going to draw attention to that. We're going to raise a campaign tonight. This campaign start now. If you've been in a campaign before, whether it was fighting for justice for Laquan McDonald, getting Anita Alvarez ousted, getting Gary McCarthy ousted, getting Rahm Emanuel out, we did that. We ran campaigns before. This is a campaign that we're going to start tonight, and all us together, we're going to get this accomplished. Say, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We got some dope, dynamic speakers that's coming up. We're going to talk. I'm going to let them talk. Each speaker, since we got so many, man, y'all try to keep it under 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. What? All right, they said 2 minutes. I'm going to give y'all grace and pull 3. I'm pulling rank, all right? So 3 minutes. Say what y'all got to say. Let the Most High lead y'all to say whatever y'all gotta say. First person that's gonna come up is my boy Maxwell for Demand Justice. Y'all make some noise for him.
Make some noise. Come on, come in some more. Come in some more. Come in. Bring the crowd in.
All right. When I say demand, y'all say justice. Demand
Justice.
Demand
Justice.
When I say demand, y'all say justice. Demand
Justice.
Demand
Justice.
All right. When I say police need, and then y'all know what to finish with. Police need.
Policing.
Police need.
Policing.
Police need.
Policing.
All right, thank y'all. I'm Maxwell M. Case, Demand Justice. And the point that I wanted to make is the fact that Van Dyke is one of many. Laquan is one of many. And we're not going to stop with just Van Dyke. And we're not going to stop with just Laquan. Right here is a list. And I was counting. And this has about 36 to 38 names of other victims, just like Laquan, that were killed. And unfortunately, it takes one of us being slaughtered on tape for there to be a little bit of sympathy. But we're not going to be fooled with what they try to do with Van Dyke. There's over 38 names here. In 2015, there's an article that shows 92 names, police officer related killings. Let me borrow from my man and say, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
Demand.
Demand.
Justice.
Justice.
Demand.
Demand.
Justice.
Justice.
We're doing this for Laquan and the many other Laquans. We're standing up against Van Dyke and the many other Van Dykes out here. So one last time. Demand.
Justice.
Demand.
Justice.
Police need. Police need.
Policing.
That's it.
Make some noise. Thank you all for coming out. My name is Dr. LaShawn Latrice from Make Noise for Change. I stand with my comrades today because we are celebrating life of Laquan McDonald, but it happens to be, coincidentally, the day that they try to confirm Rahm Emanuel. We are standing here traumatized because we cannot believe the administration ran by Joe Biden would have the audacity and to put up a nomination for Rahm Emanuel after he covered up the murder of Laquan McDonald. So we're standing here right now together, letting the world know that we are not going to sit silently and let this clown Rahm get confirmed, but we're going to make all the noise we can. So make some noise right now.
Yeah.
How many shots?
16 shots.
How many shots?
16 shots.
How many shots?
16 shots.
We're going to bring up our next speaker, who is Jamal Cole. Come on up, comrade.
From my block, my hood, my city, y'all make some noise for Cole.
Hey, I want to start off by saying, having a police badge gives you a platform that's going to amplify who you are. So if you're a good person, I feel like if you're a good person, having a police badge gives you a platform that's going to amplify your ability to do good. If you're a bad person, having a police badge gives you a platform that's going to amplify your wickedness. I said that line for the last 6 years in Chicago. Even after my aunt, Betty Jones, was murdered by a Chicago police officer. Her name's right here. She was murdered on the morning after Christmas by a Chicago police officer. They said it was by accident. I went on CNN the next morning. What I say? Having a police, blah, 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 blah. Having a police badge gives you a platform to amplify your wickedness, right? And listen, I've been pulled over in Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Oklahoma, and Nebraska. Every time I got stopped, I didn't know if I was gonna die. In Nebraska, a cop pulled me over, put me in the backseat of a car, put me in handcuffs, and then he drove like a maniac through a cornfield. I bounced around the backseat like a rag doll. He pulled up to a big barn and 2 dogs came out. He said he left something inside. An hour later, he came back outside and said, he took me to the police station. That's KKK behavior. That's not police officer behavior. Hey, that's not a new story. That happens to a lot of black men. I talk to a lot of black men that have been beat up in these cornfields, right? I'm here today to talk about the consent decree. The consent decree is a federal court order that establishes an enforceable plan for reform because the Chicago Police Department has been found guilty of targeting black and brown people in 2018. I'm not talking about back in the day when the Texas Rangers used to kill Mexican ranchers. The white colonists used to steal the Mexican ranchers' cattle. The colonists would call the police, the Texas Rangers, they'd show up and kill everybody. I'm talking about 2018, it was found guilty. In this consent decree, this federal plan for reform, they offer 8 hours of diversity training. It's optional diversity training for cops. As if 8 hours of diversity training can wipe away thousands of years of racist policing. That don't make no damn sense. And think about it, if you was training to be a pilot and it was mandatory that you had 1,000 hours of training to be a pilot, you wouldn't spend only 8 hours trying to land the plane. That don't make no sense, man. The situation is too important. What I want to know is what's happening in these crisis intervention trainings, specifically around the properly de-escalating situations. What's happening on that part? And y'all, to me, I feel like the de-escalation process should start when the officer gets out the vehicle. Your uniform is affecting me. The way your uniform looks is affecting me. You look like a Texas Ranger right now. You look like a Call of Duty officer right now. You say you're here to cover me for peace. Hey, listen, how come it's always on black people? We got to de-escalate the situations. We got to say, hey, my hands are at 10 to 2. I'm reaching for my wallet. That responsibility should be on the person that's paid to serve the public. It's not clear that the police knows that their job is to serve the public. And why are you so mad at me? You signed up for this job. You signed up for this job and you mad at me, right? I'm just asking you to humble yourself when you pull me over. You should treat me like a person when you pull me over. How would you treat your sister if you pulled your sister over? How would you treat your mother if you pulled your mother over? Right? You look like a Texas Ranger right now. How come y'all didn't know Jason Van Dyke was guilty? He had over 20 complaints. Y'all should have known he was capable of murder. And there's a lot more people just like him. A lot more people just like this. This whole consent decree, y'all, this 300-page document, the police officers never admit to any wrongdoing. The police never take accountability for their failed systems. That's why that entire document should burn. The entire document should burn. Listen, my name is Jamal Cole. Yeah, I run a nonprofit called My Block, My Hood, My City. Why ain't talking about nonprofit organizations right now? I could pass out turkeys for the rest of my life, but people still gonna be hungry on the 28th and 29th. I'm running for U.S. Congress in the 1st District of Illinois, and we ain't giving no money to police officers until they actually make these trainings mandatory. We're not giving no money to police officers. We're not giving them no money for military-grade equipment they say they don't got. I was in the rallies downtown when Lori opened up the gates. I saw the eyes of the police officers. I saw the tattoos. I saw the etchies in the billy clubs. Y'all was throwing smoke bombs at us, man. Talking about y'all don't have military-grade equipment. Why are those trainings so optional? Those trainings should be mandatory, man. I'm Jamal Cole. I'm running for U.S. Congress in the 1st District of Illinois, and I'm about that action, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you. Mic check, mic check. How many shots?
16 shots.
How many shots?
16 shots.
Let's hear from our comrade Kofi. Come on up, Kofi. Give him a round of applause. Let's go, Kofi. Come on.
Good evening, everyone. This is a somber evening. This isn't a night for me to be loud and passionate, so forgive me because I'm not in a good space right now. Y'all know Chicago is the torture capital of the world. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know John Burge and his team. And we got survivors of that. Shout out to Brother Mark. Yeah. Over 150 people incarcerated off of false confessions, y'all. We know we live in a city where Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were killed in their sleep, right? We know that, right? Shout out to Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. over there. We know we live in a city where this department has killed more children than any other department in the country. Y'all know that, right?
Oh, teach him.
So, I say all this to say that I'm not up here to talk to y'all about reform or some kind of policy to pass. I'm here to say I'm an abolitionist. I want to see these prisons and police go, period. Like, there's nothing in the system where justice is laying. We live in a nation of mass incarceration that happened during slavery, during Reconstruction, during Jim Crow, during the so-called Civil Rights Movement to right now. Millions of black and brown bodies stacked on top of each other. Where's the justice in that? It's an economic thing. They lock our bodies away because their labor niche needs to be taken care of. It's profit over people, right? They invest billions into policing and prisons. They invest trillions into the military industrial complex, right? We can drop bombs over another nation's and incarcerate black and brown people here. So I just say all that to say, justice for Laquan, for me, looks like freeing Larry Hoover, right? Justice for Laquan, for me, looks like freeing Mumia, right? Justice looks like freeing all political prisoners. Justice looks like freeing my cousin, who's doing 10 years in a federal penitentiary right now. Justice looks like making sure young brothers and sisters like this don't have to be locked up, right? Because we need repair, we need healing, right? We need resources to build a structure of true transformative justice. Putting people in cages does not keep us safe. It does not keep us safe, y'all. Putting people in cages does not make them get redemption. People build redemption on their own means because they feel remorse. But the criminal justice system pays to lock them up instead of healing those people that have been harmed. Money should go towards survivors. The money should go towards the victims, right? We should be putting all our resources into healing people and repairing people and holding people accountable. Instead, you get put in front of the state that gives you this ridiculous sentence and puts you away in a cage where you never have the ability to make amends and have atonement for the harm that you've done. That's the system we live in. So I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you none of that. I'm just going to tell you, we got to have all power to the people. We got to continue to build power and put that power and resources into our communities. And what they define as crime, I call rebellion. What they call a riot, I call it insurrection. So let's not go there with what they talking about as far as what is legitimate, right? That's not what I'm gonna be up here for. These young brothers, they're part of Good Kids Mad City. They're doing violence prevention work in this city. They're doing things to build peace and keep safety happening in the community. But they can't do that with police in the streets. It's just not gonna happen. The same officers who won't get a damn vaccination, right, or quit over that, but they get $1.9 billion up at this upcoming budget hearing. That's almost $2 billion. We have more police per capita than any other country. So that's all I gotta say, y'all. Abolish police, fuck everything else.
Y'all make some noise for Kofi real quick. How many shots?
16 shots.
How many shots?
16 shots.
How many shots?
16 shots.
Hey, it's a hashtag I really, when we leave here, it's a hashtag I really want y'all to pump, right? Until further notice. Say reject, ROM. Say reject, ROM. As Dr. LaShawn said earlier so eloquently, I don't know if everybody peeped it. On today, on Laquan McDonald's death anniversary, the United States Foreign Relations Committee thought it was a good idea to bring Rahm Emanuel into a U.S. Senate hearing to possibly confirm him as a U.S. ambassador to Japan. Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
Say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
So he failed our city. He covers up the murder of a 17-year-old boy. He closed 50 schools on the south and west side. He closed mental health clinics throughout the city of Chicago. The highest level of poverty and unemployment in the black community. Lead water was found in our shorty schools. So you think that's the best qualified candidate to go represent the United States as an ambassador? Say that ain't right. On top of that, they chose today, out of all days, to have that Senate hearing. That's not coincidental, beloved. That was intentional. Say that was intentional. That was intentional. Because they know what Laquan means to us. They know what this day means to us. This is why we have to start organizing politically. Because that was a Democratic president that thought it was okay to appoint Rahm Emanuel as a U.S. ambassador. That wasn't Donald Trump. That wasn't a Republican. That was a Democrat who thought that was okay. We need to start organizing our own political power and start using our political muscle in the way that we need to. Period. That's what we have to do. If politics ain't for you, then politics ain't for you. But as long as you live in the United States of these America, we're going to have to exercise that strength. Say exercise that strength. Say flex that muscle. And that's what we're going to continue to do. With that being said, we need to have a new period of leadership. A new bread to go in D.C. and represent people like us. People that's gonna walk into the U.S. Senate and say, nah, this Mark can't be, he can't be no ambassador. I'm not no senator, but this Mark can't be that. We need bold leadership. We need radical leadership. We need leadership that people can believe in. I don't have any leadership that I can believe in. I don't have anybody in my black community that's an elected official that I can believe in. When I go in South Shore, I don't have anybody that I can believe in. We are who we've been waiting for. Danny Davis has failed us. Bobby Rush has failed us. The Chicago Black Caucus has failed us. I walked in City Hall by myself and watched every single person in the city council floor unanimously a FOP contract that gives the police the power to kill us with impunity. I watched every single black elected official in the city of Chicago, for the exemption of Jeanette Taylor because she wasn't there. But every single one, Jason Irvin, Leslie Harrison, Sophia King, Emma Mitch, David Moore, all of them. It's time for us to pick a side. It's time for us to pick a side politically. These people have been selling us out forever. It's time for us to pick a side. It's time for us to raise up new political leadership. Jamal's running. Let's lift him up. If he get in there tweaking, we're going to hold him accountable. The next person that's coming up, we're going to lift her up. If she get in there and start tweaking, we're going to hold her accountable. But I vouch for them. I put my name on the line for them, period. I don't play with this. I do not play with anybody touching this mic. I vouch for everybody touching this mic. With the next person coming up, man, y'all lift up a black woman, love our community, been in the trenches with us since day one, running for Congress on the west side. Y'all make some noise for Keena Collins one time.
Make some noise. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 Y'all can do better than that. If we don't get it,
shut it down.
let CPD hear you. If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
My name is Keena Collins. I'm running for Congress in the Illinois 7th Congressional District. We're standing in my district right now. We're standing in what we know is a tale of two cities in the city of Chicago. I'm from the Austin neighborhood on the west side of Chicago. And here we are, downtown in one of the wealthiest parts, not just in Illinois, but in the country. This was our ground zero for Laquan McDonald when we went to the Magnificent Mile and shut it down and exercised our constitutional right to an economic boycott. And I said this yesterday. We know shutting down shopping plazas, shutting down Federal Plaza, shutting down the highways is an inconvenience, but so is 400 years of white supremacy and oppression. That is also an inconvenience. It is also an inconvenience to shoot our children down in the street and gun them down like animals and conceal the murder. It is also an inconvenience to shut down 50 schools in our community. It is also an inconvenience when you pour more into over-militarizing our neighborhoods than investing in the education of our young people. Now, I want to call out the Black Caucus of City Council. How dare they? And how dare we? And shame on us if we let them get away with this. I'm not surprised and I'm not shocked that they endorse Rahm Emanuel. I'm sorry, y'all. Because these are the same people that voted for a $95 million cop academy. These are the same people who stood with him when they shut our schools down. These are the same people who agreed to shut down every mental health facility in this city. These are the same people who are letting lead be pumped through our faucets. So I am not shocked and surprised at all. Now, when we talk about running for Congress and our House Party leadership, where was anybody in the Illinois delegation to say this is wrong and rebuke the actions of what happened? Please let me know which Congressional Black Caucus member came out, which Progressive Caucus member came out and said that Rahm should not be getting this appointment. Not one person. Our organizing does not go down in vain. And while we have elected officials on our Capitol kneeling and draping kente cloth around their necks, and passing Juneteenth as a federal holiday, we don't want symbolic victories. We want systematic change. Yeah. We don't want your thoughts and prayers. We want policy and implementation. We want y'all to run the bag. We need reparations for our community. We need you to stop and end the war on drugs on the west side and south side in Flint, Michigan, and New Orleans, all across this country. And so, I'm with Kofi on this. I got a little loud, but today was very, very difficult for me. We have to inject some humanity into what has happened here in the city of Chicago. Laquan wasn't just murdered. Laquan wasn't just killed. He was lynched. And they hid his tape for 400 days. On his anniversary, Rahm Emanuel sat in front of the Senate hearing today and lied. He lied. Reverend Hunter, you're wrong. You're wrong for saying that you're going to speak behalf of the dead who can't speak for themselves. Come on now. The Black Caucus in the City Council, you're wrong. You don't speak for the working class people across the city of Chicago that have been invisible to the elected officials. But what we do know, I seen Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. in here. Fred Hampton told us, y'all can jail the revolutionary, you'll never be able to jail the revolution. We here. We planted the seed, and we're going to continue to organize. My name is Keena Collins, and I'm running for Congress in the Illinois 7th Congressional District. Thank you. Make some noise for Keena Collins! If we don't get it, if we don't get it, if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
make some noise for our comrade Shabir, who will be joining us on the stage. Come on up, Shabir.
My name's Shabir. I'm with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. In a just world, Laquan McDonald would be here today. In a just world, someone who shoots someone, a cop who shoots someone in the back, would be facing a lot more years than just 7 years.
Come on, man.
In a just world, a cop who unloads 16 shots at a 17-year-old boy would not be up for parole in 7 years. In a just world, a mayor who attempted to cover up the murder of a 17-year-old child would be met with disgust everywhere he showed his ugly face.
Yes.
But we do not live in a just world, because Laquan McDonald was killed by the same police department that takes our money and our resources year after year, while they oppress us, while they shoot us in the streets. And now the Democrats, the Biden administration, is offering that same mayor who participated in a cover-up, a federal job where now he gets to cover up for the U.S. imperialist machine. Because you know why? Because Rahm Emanuel is part of the Democratic war machine, part of the capitalist machine. Laquan should be here. Anthony Alvarez should be here. Adam Toledo